Hi, I'm Patrick Presswar, Chief Gorilla at the Marketing Gorillas, and in today's installment of Securing Your Marketing Investment, I will be talking about how to set up automated backups of your WordPress site. Now, why is this important? Very recently, there has been an influx or a surge of hacking on WordPress sites, and that your WordPress site basically contains all the information related to your business, and it is vitally important that your site is available to visitors 24 hours a day, so it can actually do your marketing, your branding, your sales for you while you are not actually catering to those visitors. This can only happen if your website is actually up and visible through the search engines. So the risk is that your website may not be. It could either be compromised, it could be hacked, the server could be down, something as simple as a plugin crashes your site, an update is not compatible with your theme, and any multitude of events can happen that can cause your site to go down. Now, the worst thing is that if your site goes down and you don't have a backup, then it may take you a while to get it back to where it was again, if you're even able to. So a good practice is to regularly back up your WordPress site and database. And what I'm going to show you today is a simple way to do it for free and to do it automatically so that you don't have to worry about it. So I will walk you through the steps, and I really encourage you to implement them as quickly as possible. Also, at the end of the video, I will talk about some other tutorials that we have, and if you need some help with these, where you can contact us. Please excuse the banging. There's some construction going on right now, and I'm trying to find a quiet place, but there's absolutely nowhere I can go inside or outside in the studio. So you'll be hearing some banging occasionally. Don't let it bother you. It should stop any minute now. Okay, thanks. So the first thing that you need is a Google Drive account and the UpDraftPlus Backups plugin. Now, both of these are free. Now, if Google Drive is formerly known as Google Docs, so if you do have a Google account with a Gmail address, something like that, all the accounts are merged now. So if you go into Google Docs, you'll see it's renamed Google Drive. So that's what you need. If you don't have that, this is not a tutorial on how to create a Google account. Just go to google.com and create yourself an account. You'll have a Gmail address, and you'll be able to create a whole bunch of different Google accounts from that Gmail address. So I'm assuming that you have a Google Drive account and that you're able to navigate into your WordPress dashboard. You will go to plugins, and you will search for the UpDraftPlus Backup plugin, like this. The next thing you want to do is you want to install the UpDraftPlus plugin and activate it. Okay, so the next thing you want to do is you want to fix the backup interval and the database backup interval. These two things depend on the frequency that you actually update your site. If you update your site regularly, then I would recommend either daily or weekly. And if your site is static, doesn't change very much, then maybe you just do monthly. The next thing you want to do is have the number of how many backups you want to have stored. I would suggest 2, so that way you have a little bit of redundancy. You have the most recent one and then the previous one, and then when a third one will come in, it'll overwrite. Actually, it'll delete the previous one, and then you'll have the 2 most recent. So that's a good practice. You just have 2 backups there all the time. So in case one of them is compromised or something like that, then you have a second one to access. Okay, so the next thing you want to do is enter an email for your notice of backups. So here I just enter my Gmail address, and what happens then is every time the backup is complete, you'll get an email notification. So it's a nice feeling to know that you're getting notified when a backup is done. It gives you a sense of security. Alright, so next what you want to do is decide whether or not you want to encrypt your backup. I'm going to give you a caveat here. If you do enter an encrypt code, make sure that you keep a record of it somewhere. It's not required to enter an encrypt code, and here's the reason why. Since we'll be backing up to Google Drive, which is outside of your server, you really are the only one that can access that unless you give somebody else access to it. But if you were backing up to your server where your hosting is, then I would suggest encrypting it, because if somebody breaks into your server, then they can access all your files. So that's one of the reasons why we're backing up to Google Drive and not backing up to your server. If anything happens to the files on your server, you'll still have your backups independently of your hosting. Okay? Alright, so that brings us to the next step, where you select Google Drive for your remote storage. And then you'll see there's a link that you can follow to bring you to the Google Drive API console. So you click on that, open it in a new window. And then on the left-hand side, you click on API Access, and you create a new client ID. Now what you want to do is you paste the unique UpDraftPlus URL into the redirect URL field. So you have to go back to the UpDraftPlus plugin, copy that little URL that's there, and then you paste it into the redirect URL field in the Google API. Okay? Now you have to do the other way around. So now you create your API, you take your Google Drive client ID number, and you paste that in the UpDraftPlus plugin. Then you go back to Google Drive, you take the client secret code, and you plug that into the plugin field as well. Now, open a new window and go to your Google Drive or Google Docs, whatever you want to call it, and create a new folder where you want your backups to be stored. Okay, so now go into that new folder. Obviously it'll be empty, but if you look up on the address bar, you will see that your folder has a very unique ID. It's sort of like a hashtag slash folder slash and then a string of numbers. So copy that string of numbers and paste that into the plugin field where it says folder ID. Then click on Save Your Settings. And then here you'll have to click at the top to authenticate your settings with Google. So that will authorize the communication with the API. You should get a pop-up window from Google allowing permission for the plugin to communicate with it. So you allow the permission. and then you go back to your plugin and you click on Backup Now. Now here's a note for you. The first time that you do this will determine the actual timestamp for all your subsequent backups. So if you want your backups to happen at night, in the middle of the night or something, I suggest you do your first backup at the time that you want. There's a way around it by doing a fixed time add-on, but personally I think there's just an extra plugin that you need, and the more plugins you have, the slows your site down. So just limit the number just do the first one at the time that you want, and then all the subsequent ones will be at the same time. Okay, so you've done that. Next, you want to open a new window and type in your blog URL. And by doing that, it'll load your blog, and that will trigger the backup process. Okay, so if you switch back to the window of your plugin, you will see that it's actually starting to communicate with Google Plus and backing up information. Now this may take a while, depending on how big your blog is, but remember it's backing up all files, all database folders, all images, everything possible is being backed up. Okay, so now you can relax. Your blog is being backed up, your database is being backed up, and it will be backed up automatically on the schedule that you've determined, and you are now covered. So, hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and I really encourage you to take action and do it right now. If you need help doing it, please visit us on our website or send us an email at themarketinggorillas@gmail.com. If you would like access to all our tutorials related to securing your marketing investment, please visit our website at themarketinggorillas.com to get access to our entire series of tutorials. And we'll see you next time.